Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Consider obligatory, request and expect. Aren't we asking too much of these children? Make a date. Has he asked you out yet? Address a question to and expect an answer from. The children asked me about their dead grandmother. Require is useful, just, or proper. This job asks a lot of patience and skill. Direct or put. Seek an answer to. Ask a question. Make a request or demand for something to somebody. She asked him for a loan. Require or ask for as a price or condition. He is asking $200 for the table. Regard something as probable or likely. The meteorologists are expecting rain for tomorrow. Consider obligatory, request and expect. I expect my students to arrive in time for their lessons. Look forward to the probable occurrence of. We were expecting a visit from our relatives. Be pregnant with. They are expecting another child in January. Consider reasonable or due. I'm expecting a full explanation as to why these files were destroyed. Look forward to the birth of a child. She is expecting in March. Have need of. Consider obligatory, request and expect. We require our secretary to be on time. Require is useful, just, or proper. Success usually requires hard work. Make someone do something. Make a date. Make a date. Take out of a literary work in order to cite or copy. Buy and consume food from a restaurant or establishment that sells prepared food. We'll take out pizza, since I am too tired to cook. Purchase prepared food to be eaten at home. Remove from its packing. Remove, usually with some force or effort, also used in an abstract sense. Take out a splinter. Take out or remove. Take out the chicken after adding the vegetables. Cause to leave. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Make a date. Remove, a commodity, from a supply source. Prevent from being included or considered or accepted. Take liquid out of a container or well. Obtain by legal or official process. Take out a license. Remove something from a container or an enclosed space. Have a wish or desire to know something. Conduct an inquiry or investigation of. Address a question to and expect an answer from. Conduct an inquiry or investigation of. Inquire into the disappearance of the rich old lady. Have a wish or desire to know something. Address a question to and expect an answer from. I inquired about their special today. Express the need or desire for. Request the participation or presence of. Gather or collect. Require is useful, just, or proper. Claim as due or just. The bank demanded payment of the loan. Required activity. There were many demands on his time. Require is useful, just, or proper. This position demands a lot of personal sacrifice. A condition requiring relief. There is a demand for jobs. An urgent or peremptory request. His demands for attention were unceasing. Ask to be informed of. I demand an explanation. Lay legal claim to. Request urgently and forcefully. The victim's family is demanding compensation. Summon to court. The ability and desire to purchase goods and services. The automobile reduced the demand for buggy whips. The act of demanding. The kidnapper's exorbitant demands for money. Have as a necessary feature. This decision involves many changes. Connect closely and often incriminatingly. Require is useful, just, or proper. Contain as a part. Dinner at Joe's always involves at least 6 courses. Engage as a participant. Don't involve me in your family affairs. Make complex or intricate or complicated. The situation was rather involved. Occupy or engage the interest of. His story completely involved me during the entire afternoon. Require is useful, just, or proper. Cause to be a concomitant. Have need of. Anything that is necessary but lacking. He had sufficient means to meet his simple needs. The psychological feature that arouses an organism to action toward a desired goal. The reason for the action. That which gives purpose and direction to behavior. Require is useful, just, or proper. A state of extreme poverty or destitution. A general state of need exists among the homeless. A condition requiring relief. She satisfied his need for affection. Maintain or assert. Logic. A proposition that is accepted as true in order to provide a basis for logical reasoning. Take as a given. Assume as a postulate or axiom. Require is useful, just, or proper. This intervention does not postulate a patient's consent. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be capable of holding or containing. This box won't take all the items. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Take the gun from your pocket. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. I don't take sugar in my coffee. Make a film or photograph of something. Take a scene. Be designed to hold or take. This surface will not take the dye. Require, time or space. Take somebody somewhere. Can you take me to the main entrance? Have sex with. Archaic use. He had taken this woman when she was most vulnerable. Have with oneself. Have on one's person. She always takes an umbrella. Receive or obtain regularly. We take the Times every day. Admit into a group or community. Head into a specified direction. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Assume, as of positions or roles. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. How should I take this message? Lay claim to, as of an idea. Accept or undergo, often unwillingly. Make use of or accept for some purpose. Take a risk. Take something or somebody with oneself somewhere. Engage for service under a term of contract. Shall we take a guide in Rome? Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Take as an undesirable consequence of some event or state of affairs. Get into one's hands, take physically. Can you take this bag, please? Require as useful, just, or proper. It takes nerve to do what she did. Occupy or take on. Receive willingly something given or offered. Be a student of a certain subject. Proceed along in a vehicle. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Ascertain or determine by measuring, computing or take a reading from a dial. Take a pulse. Be seized or affected in a specified way. Take sick. Buy, select. I'll take a pound of that sausage. Carry out. Take action. Experience or feel or submit to. Obtain by winning. Winner takes all. Take by force. Take into one's possession. I'll take 3 salmon steaks. The act of photographing a scene or part of a scene without interruption. Travel or go by means of a certain kind of transportation, or a certain route. He takes the bus to work. Ask to enter. Invite someone to one's house. Invite someone to one's house. Be a signal for or a symptom of. Express the need or desire for. Express the need or desire for. When you call, always ask for Mary. Increase the likelihood of. Ask for trouble. The act of searching for something. A quest for diamonds. Express the need or desire for. She requested an extra bed in her room. Bark with prolonged noises, of dogs. A search for an alternative that meets cognitive criteria. A quest for wealth. Make a search, for. Things that die with their eyes open and questing. Search the trail of, game. The dog went off and quested. Seek alms, as for religious purposes. Express the need or desire for. She requested an extra bed in her room. The verbal act of requesting. A formal message requesting something that is submitted to an authority. Ask. A person, to do something. I requested that she type the entire manuscript. Inquire for information. I requested information from the secretary. Transmit thoughts or feelings. He communicated his anxieties to the psychiatrist. Transmit information. Please communicate this message to all employees. Receive communion, in the Catholic Church. Transfer to another. Communicate a disease. Administer communion, in church. Be in verbal contact. Interchange information or ideas. He and his sons haven't communicated for years. Join or connect. The rooms communicated. Transmit thoughts or feelings. Be interconnected, afford passage. These rooms intercommunicate. An expression whose meanings cannot be inferred from the meanings of the words that make it up. A short musical passage. Put into words or an expression. An expression consisting of one or more words forming a grammatical constituent of a sentence. Dance movements that are linked in a single choreographic sequence. Divide, combine, or mark into phrases. Phrase a musical passage. Provide with a joint. Speak, pronounce, or utter in a certain way. Express or state clearly. Consisting of segments held together by joints. Put into words or an expression. Expressing yourself easily or characterized by clear expressive language. Articulate speech. Unite by forming a joint or joints. The ankle bone articulates with the leg bones to form the ankle bones. The divine Word of God, the second person in the Trinity, incarnate in Jesus. Information about recent and important events. An exchange of views on some topic. We had a word or two about it. A secret word or phrase known only to a restricted group. He forgot the password. The sacred writings of the Christian religions. A promise. He gave his word. Put into words or an expression. A brief statement. He didn't say a word about it. A string of bits stored in computer memory. Large computers use words up to 64 bits long. A unit of language that native speakers can identify. Words are the blocks from which sentences are made. A verbal command for action. When I give the word, charge. Put into words or an expression. Come up with an idea, plan, explanation, theory, or principle, after a mental effort. Elaborate, as of theories and hypotheses. Put into words or an expression. He formulated his concerns to the Board of Trustees. Prepare according to a formula. Assign a specified, usually proper name to. Make a prediction about. Tell in advance. Order, request, or command to come. She was called into the director's office. Utter a sudden loud cry. Pay a brief visit. The mayor likes to call on some of the prominent citizens. The option to buy a given stock, or stock index or commodity future, at a given price before a given date. A demand by a broker that a customer deposit enough to bring his margin up to the minimum requirement. A demand especially in the phrase. The call of duty. A telephone connection. She reported several anonymous calls. A loud utterance, often in protest or opposition. Greet, as with a prescribed form, title, or name. She calls him by first name. Demand payment of a loan. Give the calls to the dancers for a square dance. Get or try to get into communication with someone by telephone. I tried to call you all night. The characteristic sound produced by a bird. Make a demand, as for a card or a suit or a show of hands. He called his trump. A brief social visit. Senior professors' wives no longer make afternoon calls on newcomers. A demand for a show of hands in a card game. After 2 raises there was a call. An instruction that interrupts the program being executed. Pascal performs calls by simply giving the name of the routine to be executed. A request. Many calls for Christmas stories. Ascribe a quality to or give a name of a common noun that reflects a quality. He called me a bastard. A special disposition, as if from a divine source, to pursue a particular course. A visit in an official or professional capacity. The pastor's calls on his parishioners. Call a meeting. Invite or command to meet. The 1C conference was called to discuss the final solution. Challenge somebody to make good on a statement, charge with or censure for an offense. He deserves to be called on that. Challenge the sincerity or truthfulness of. Call the speaker on a question of fact. Consider or regard as being. I would not call her beautiful. Declare in the capacity of an umpire or referee. Call a runner out. Indicate a decision in regard to. Call balls and strikes behind the plate. Lure by imitating the characteristic call of an animal. Make a stop in a harbor. The ship will call in Honolulu tomorrow. Order or request or give a command for. The unions called a general strike for Sunday. Order, summon, or request for a specific duty or activity, work, role. He was already called 4 times for jury duty. Read aloud to check for omissions or absentees. Require the presentation of for redemption before maturation. Rouse somebody from sleep with a call. I was called at 5 a.m. this morning. Send a message or attempt to reach someone by radio, phone, etc. Make a signal to in order to transmit a message. Hawaii is calling. Sports, the decision made by an umpire or referee. He was ejected for protesting the call. Stop or postpone because of adverse conditions, such as bad weather. Call a football game. Utter a characteristic note or cry. Blue jays called to one another. Utter in a loud voice or announce. He called my name. Get or ask advice from. They had to consult before arriving at a decision. Seek information from. You should consult the dictionary. Have a conference in order to talk something over. Advise professionally. The professor consults for industry.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.